Malaysian officials have given the media a further briefing on the operation to recover debris from the aircraft. Correspondent Michael Edwards is in Kuala Lumpur. Mike, it's been a frustrating day due to weather delays. What did the Malaysian authorities have to say about the key challenges from here on?
Well, they described the key challenges from here on as logistical rather than diplomatic. They say that they've been able to narrow the search field, but they want to now find the black box. That is a priority for them because, as was mentioned before, they only have 13 days left of the beacon. So when that beacon goes, it's going to be very difficult to find this item. They're meeting with US naval officials tonight in a bid to get hold of high-tech equipment from the US Navy, which will hopefully enable them to locate the black box a lot easier.
Yes, so the search area has been substantially reduced. So despite no debris actually being retrieved, at least the area is becoming somewhat more manageable. And while weather has been a limitation for flights, what about ships? HMAS Success is on site already. When would we expect others on the scene?
Well, there's 6 Chinese ships that are heading down there now and could be there as early as tomorrow. It's interesting you mentioned the breakthrough when it came to locating the plane, or the vicinity where it may have come down. One of the things that enabled them to do was knock out the northern corridor, which was the northern flight path it could have taken, but it's also enabled them to drastically reduce the size of the search area in the southern Indian Ocean, so that they really are focusing down on the area, you would say, southwest of Australia. Malaysia's Transport Minister, Hishammuddin, spoke about this. Here's what he had to say.
As a result of this new data analysis, the search and rescue operation in the northern corridor has been called off. We have also stopped the search and rescue operation in the northern part of the southern corridor, close to Indonesia.
And Michael Edwards, there's been criticism of the authorities for, among other things, notifying families by text message that the plane is almost certainly lost in the Indian Ocean. Some relatives tried to storm the Malaysian embassy in Beijing. What's been the authorities' response to that?
Well, the protesters were very angry because the Malaysians only sent out a second secretary, or a relatively junior diplomat. So that certainly didn't go down very well. But time and time again, when the Malaysian authorities are put on the spot about the investigation and what happened and their conduct of it, they say that they cannot comment until they find the plane and they know conclusively what has taken place. That's probably added to a certain degree of the frustration among families and amongst the Chinese when it comes to this investigation. And I must note that we've seen the anger in China, but we can also pick it up amongst the journalists here in Kuala Lumpur, the Chinese journalists here. They are asking very, very tough questions of the Malaysian authorities, and they are very sceptical about whatever they are being told here.
Yes, so just on that briefly, China is sending a special envoy, which is perhaps an indication of the lack of satisfaction and the desire for more specific answers. But there were also some questions around compensation and insurance for relatives of those on board during the press conference this evening. How were those questions answered?
Well, we were told that each family member involved their families would be eligible for $5,000. On the question of insurance, the CEO of Malaysia Airlines basically just said it's something he is going to check upon and make sure that something happens there. So we really don't know about that. So at this point in time, there are a lot of questions that the families want answered when it comes to the next step for Malaysia Airlines towards them.
The World's Michael Edwards reporting for us from Kuala Lumpur.